my loves, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. Hi, hello, my name is Loey, and my bed's looking a little empty today. I wish I had someone to keep me company. Your knee cracked so loud.
That wasn't my knee.
It's Andrew! I wanted to film this video about why you should not break the rules of the Ouija board. Since you don't know like a ton about Ouija boards, because I know that you hate scary stuff.
They scare me.
I know that you hate this kind of stuff. Well, like you like it, you're interested in it.
I make scary videos, like I do.
Why did Siri just start listening to us? Ew! 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 Grab my phone. What? Grab my phone. It thinks we said, hey Siri, hey Siri.
Are you thinking of what we were just talking about?
I hate it.
Are you thinking of what we were just talking about?
I'm listening.
No!
I'm crying. There are real tears in my eyes, Andrew. I don't know what to say.
Okay,
so
I was saying, I make scary videos on my channel and stuff, but I'm so scared of them, as you can tell.
That was really weird though, you guys, because I was just going to say at the end of this video that if you guys like this, I also want to talk about why you shouldn't talk to Siri. I'm not even kidding. This isn't like a joke. This isn't like for views. I don't believe in the whole like don't talk to Siri at 3 a.m. video, but I think that there are some things you should always do when you approach things like wanting a paranormal answer. So I wanted to like talk about it, but like the fact that that just happened, I wish I had screenshotted it. I wish I had showed it on camera, but I was like,
we're like out of breath.
Okay, well that was a great way to start this video. I feel fantastic about the kind of content that I'm making on the internet. Well today I wanted to talk about why you shouldn't break the rules of the Ouija board at 3 a.m. or any time.
My mom always told me to stay away from Ouija boards, demons, all that stuff. Like all of that.
My parents did too, but I just didn't listen. I used to hang out in graveyards as a kid, so.
I live next to a graveyard, so.
Me, like I lived in it. So there's this trend of videos going around YouTube like playing hide and seek alone at 3 a.m. Like all of these like creepy videos, breaking all the rules of the Ouija board at 3 a.m. Like doing all of these things at 3 a.m. because it's like the witching hour or the devil's hour or whatever. And I recently watched someone that I even watched myself play the Ouija board alone. And that's just like one of the biggest rules of the Ouija board is don't play alone because you're so much more vulnerable when you play alone. But I just wanted to talk about like why it's a really bad idea to break all the rules of the Ouija board. I think that like people doing this probably don't believe in ghosts for the most part. I can't imagine doing this when you do believe in ghosts. Like the repercussions can be humongous. So the biggest thing about playing with the Ouija board is you're not supposed to play when you're in a vulnerable state. So when you're depressed, when you're like sick, you're not supposed to play when you're in a bad place. Is
it like easier for them to take over?
Yeah, it's like easier for like, it's almost like, you know how, okay, it's so weird because we were just talking about Stranger Things, like the Demogorgons can like smell you. It's like that, imagine them as demons. Like they smell like that negativity, like they feed off of it. Like a demon 9 times out of 10, I'm assuming, doesn't really like inhabit like a happy person. So when you are like negative, when you're in a bad place, it's so much easier for them to find you. The Ouija board can lie. Spirits can lie when you're asking them specific questions. They don't have to tell you the truth. So it can say like, yeah, it's your grandpa you're talking to, and you can really open yourself up, and they know things, they know dates, they know like, they know stuff. Spirits are kind of like, not, I mean, they don't know everything, they're not like gods, but like, they know things, they have knowledge of what's happened previously. And I don't know if that's like they can see into your past, or they just like know things because of like what's been left on you, like almost like a mark has been left on your history, and like they know, oh, grandpa did this, I'll say that, you know. So they can lie to you to gain your trust, and then it turns out you're not talking to your grandfather, you're talking to like a demon. So the biggest thing with playing alone is you don't have another person to kind of balance out. You're easier to manipulate. It's been pounded over and over and over and over again, never to play alone. And if you just think that Ouija boards are pieces of cardboard and like a planchette, it may not seem like a big deal, but when you believe in spirits, usually when you give them any kind of power, when you give them negativity, when you give them attention, when you give them anything, they feed off of that. They love that. Yeah. And so even if you don't believe in it, like something bad could happen. So don't play it alone, number one. And a lot of people who break the rules of the Ouija board, they'll tell the ghosts, they'll tell the spirits, like, move something around, like, I'm not scared of you, knock on the walls. So when you give something, and I learned this from Haley, when you give something like permission to come out of its space and like into your space, to move beyond their dimension into your dimension, to like mess stuff up, to knock over lamps and stuff, you may think like, whoa, like a light bulb burned out, that's really cool. but you can't just say, okay, go away now. Like, you invited it in. It's not a puppet or a dog, or like, you can't control it at your own will. So that's like the biggest thing, is that people who play alone tend to be a little bit more reckless, I think. But I mean, that's another big thing, is you don't want to like tell it, hey, move beyond your space, move into my space, like do whatever you want, because that's giving it permission.
Don't even say those words.
Oh, well, no, like nothing has permission. Well, another thing that Haley really has taught me is that intention is everything. And how if you're not really inviting anything in, like nothing can come in. Yeah. If you're telling things stay away from me, it always will stay away from you. Like, so she's really cool because she's taught me a lot about this kind of stuff. But I just think it's so dangerous to see like this trend. Wouldn't you agree? Like, can you imagine like kids just like playing Ouija boards and breaking all the rules because their favorite YouTuber is doing it?
No! Oh my god, no.
I hate it. I literally hate it.
I've never even been around one. No, I
no,
won't even
really?
touch it. No, I won't even touch it. My mom won't. No. No.
I think a lot of the times people will play them in like graveyards and stuff. I know Graveyard Girl, coincidentally, used to do a lot of paranormal videos. I go back and watch those
Love her.
all the time because I'm so obsessed with her. Like, she is one of my favorite YouTubers of all time, and she's kind of stopped doing them because like she stopped giving attention to the paranormal. And that's you know, a lot of the times people will just totally back off because like at the end of the day, these kinds of videos, like, they always will open you up to more experiences. I remember she used to do like spirit box sessions. I really learned that you can like use a spirit box, or you can use other devices and communicate with spirits and let them talk to you through that. But the biggest problem with Ouija boards is you often are giving them permission. And whether you think it or not, you're giving them permission to touch your hand and to move it. You get what I mean? Like, yeah. Imagine me, like, you're a ghost, and I'm just like, okay, like, move my hand across the board.
Is that how it is? I never knew how they worked. Is that like what it is?
I mean, I've only played it like once, and that's how it felt for me, is that like, it almost felt like my hands, it was weird. I had a weird experience with it, but it felt like they were being like dragged. And I didn't feel pressure on my hands, but it felt like the planchette was being dragged. It was crazy. And I still don't know if the other person was doing it or not, but
everyone says that.
I know. And
everyone
like,
says.
It's, yeah. So the thing about playing alone, can you imagine that happening? And like, you can't blame anybody. You can't blame anybody. Like, I would die. But people will take them to graveyards and stuff like that. And when you go to a graveyard, or when you go to like a insanely haunted place and you're like, okay, touch me, like, tell me what you want to say, but use my body to do it. They don't have to leave you alone when you go home. Like, you may not even live in a haunted house, but you're dragging things home with you. Like, it's just really scary for me to see some YouTubers, like, you know, do this. And it's a lot of the times, like, people I don't even know, I don't even watch, they'll just, like, get, like, hella views off of these Ouija board challenges, or, and I don't want to call anyone out in particular. No one is, like, bad for doing this. I just worry that people don't understand the repercussions of literally doing this by yourself.
I mean, not everyone does all the research you do, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obsessed with this kind of stuff. Before I do anything, I do a ton of research. I love stories, I love hearing about this kind of stuff. I love hearing about like different techniques to like communicate with spirits and stuff like that. So for me, I've done so much research. I know about Zozo, the Ouija board demon. I know about a lot of like, oh, you've never heard about that? Watch my video. It's why I will never play a Ouija board again. But seriously, it like, there is so much that can go wrong. And there's so much that can go wrong when you're by yourself, when you're so open and so vulnerable. So much can go wrong, and it's just not worth it for like a cheap thrill or to get clicks on YouTube or something. How many, okay, can I just ask you this? How many Ouija board stories have you ever heard? Like, this was a magical experience. Like, you don't hear things like that. You hear like Ouija board. Every single title is Ouija board gone wrong. Yeah. Now there are a few. There's this one YouTuber that I watch, and he thinks that and I say he thinks because nobody knows, but he thinks he talked to his grandfather. He had this really beautiful experience with his mom and his sister, and I think that's like amazing. Like, I think that's really cool. But the negative possibilities of being possessed, of being haunted, of inviting negative stuff into your space, and you may not even think it's like a ghost or a demon, but like, you may see yourself just in a worse like headspace because these things drain the life out of you. They literally do. So it's just super dangerous to play the Ouija board alone. I don't want to make anyone angry. If your favorite YouTuber has done this, don't worry. A few of mine have too. Like people that I really love, people I consider my friends, have played the Ouija board alone or broken all the rules of the Ouija board. And it scares me because I hope that people understand what can happen. And if you're someone who just watches these because they kind of freak you out, if you don't really believe in ghosts, if you don't really believe in any of this, I still hope you'll take some precautions.
Please do.
So like all of that aside, why are you so afraid of the Ouija board? And is it like, are you just afraid of all paranormal, or is there some specific fear behind the Ouija board?
I'm afraid of all paranormal. You know, when I was younger, I had that paranormal experience with my grandma.
Right.
With my grandpa, sorry.
Yeah.
That video's on my channel.
I knew what you were saying too. I just like...
Yeah, I had a bunch of, that's, you know, why, that's the base of a lot of my paranormal stories, you know, my experiences when I was younger. And so it's always just creeped me out. And the fact that that stuff that happened to me was from a good spirit, you know, it was from my grandpa. The fact that there could be evil spirits, and just every movie I've seen and all the stories I've heard, and the fact that they could just exorcisms, just all that stuff really freaks me out. And you know, some people don't even ask for it, but the fact that some people are doing the Ouija board and asking for this stuff, and like they just want to see stuff because they think it'll be cool, but they're not realizing that they're letting this evil energy spirit into their life. Like you're letting it ruin your life, take over your life. Freaks me out. And like, it's not, what are you gonna do, call the cops? Like, it's not,
yeah,
there's
really,
no,
like call them and be like, the Ouija board's playing around my house. Like,
there's no getting away.
Yeah.
You can't sell your house every week. Like, it's not, you can't move. It's just, there's no getting away from it.
Do I think Ouija boards are inherently bad? I mean, no way of talking to a ghost is good. Like, I remember the Charlie challenge and people being really, do you remember that? When everyone was really obsessed with that? And like, there are dangers behind that, because anytime that you open yourself up to anything, anytime that you open yourself up to the spiritual world, like, you're saying, okay, do something. Like, it's time for you to put on a show. So when you do that, like, no matter what, there might be some, like, I don't want to say like punishments or anything like that. Like, you're not being, like, what am I thinking of here? Consequences.
Yeah.
Like consequences for the actions. When you talk to Siri at 3 a.m., you're still, and that's another video I want to make, and another video I want to like make on this kind of like viral like game. There's a lot that you're opening yourself up to, but my biggest problem with Ouija boards, my biggest thing with them, is that you're telling something, touch me. That you're saying to some, it doesn't that just like make your skin crawl?
Yes.
It really scares me. I hope that it kind of scares you guys too. I hope none of you will break these rules, but if you do, I still respect you. I don't think you're a bad person. I think, you know, if that's what you're gonna do, who am I to stop you? I'm just putting out there that these are things that can happen when you break all of the rules of the Ouija board. And that there are so many other rules that you shouldn't break with the Ouija board. You know, don't tell something to prove that it's a ghost to you. Don't tell it to move outside of its space. Like, there are responsible ways to play the Ouija board, but in my honest opinion, no matter what, I think it's so dangerous.
Right.
So I thank you very much for being here as my moral support. He knows I was really scared to film this video on my own.
I'm always so scared to be in any of her videos because they're always terrifying.
Thank you for being here for my moral support, and thank you guys for watching and listening to this. If you did enjoy, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to my best friend Andrew's channel as well. You guys, he's trying to hit 20,000 within, like, oh my god, the next 3 months, right?
Yeah, by playlist.
We can totally get him there. So if you guys would, please go over check him out. Give him a like, subscribe to his channel. And we probably have some really fun videos over there right now, literally right now, for you to go watch. So I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you soon. Bye.
Bye.